Welcome, everyone, to our weekly HDI Local Chapters live stream show. Our show sponsor is Robert Half Technology. Robert Half Technology helps companies build, deploy, and operate technology in the digital world by placing highly skilled IT professionals on a contract, project, or full-time basis. Browse available candidates, search for jobs, and access additional hiring and career insights online at roberthalf.com/technology. All right, everybody. Today it's Christmas Eve, and so we have two guests on our show today. We have Andrew Park and Brian Corcoran, and we're going to talk about what techies want for Christmas. First, let me introduce our guest. Andrew Park is a Southern California native and graduate from Cornell University in 2015. After working in the professional sports industry for 3 years, he has since looked to shift industries and is currently pursuing a career in web development. And in his free time, Andrew enjoys watching sports. Maybe that's why he's into that sports career area, playing video games, and spending time with his loved ones. Of course, in a pandemic-safe way, to be sure. Now, Brian Corcoran leads sales in the U.S. for SearchUnify, an AI-powered cognitive search and chat platform. He is a lifelong coach and teacher, and he works closely with companies to develop, deliver, and scale support experiences that make their customers smile. And Brian is based out of Northern California, so we got two West Coast guys on tonight, and loves decompressing on the weekends with sports, reading, and producing music. All right, guys, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Tom.
Awesome. So I really want to thank you guys. It's Christmas Eve, so I really am appreciative that you come on the show tonight. And let's get right into it. So you guys know the score of the game. I told you we got about less than 15 minutes to get started. If I got to start my timer there. And today's discussion is, what do techies want for Christmas? So the question out to you guys is, what would you want for Christmas? Something that you would expect to get or that you wanted to get, you asked for Christmas. Andrew, let's start with you.
Well, instead of going a natural tech route, I think if during this year 2020, we've spent more time in front of screens, more time in front of monitors, more time in front of TVs than ever before. So really, I've spent more time sitting down in a chair, not being active. I usually play a lot of sports in my free time. So what I would want is something that keeps me active, like a pull-up bar or like an ab roller, or even I have some friends that even got together and put together a home gym. So anything that goes towards that, because, we're not able to go to the gym these days, obviously. And we need some way to, keep the blood flowing and take a break off of sitting down in front of a monitor or a TV screen. So that for me, the first thing I would think of is something that, home fitness related, like a pull-up bar.
You know what, Andrew, I really like you said it, because I'm sure people on the show probably thought we were going to jump right into like, what kind of technology do we want for Christmas? And really, that's not exactly what it's all about. I'm glad. Brian, what do you have to say about that? What would you expect or want?
Yeah, I definitely see where Andrew's coming from. I mean, for me, this year, I think for everybody who's watching or will view this recording, is that, it's the most unorthodox year that we've ever experienced. And for me, that means a lot of hours sitting or standing at my desk. For SearchUnify, we're a company based out of the US, but we have a lot of folks that are based out of India as well. So a lot of late nights, early mornings. And, in terms of finding that pull-up bar, I completely agree with Andrew. For me, just based on the bandwidth, I feel I need, a little bit more of a push. And so, not to jump too much into technology, but, something that I've really had my eye on over the last couple of months is a Whoop strap. And so basically being able to monitor some of my vitals and basically kind of nudge me and say, hey, you've been sitting down for 4 hours. Like, you got to get up, take a lap around the neighborhood, go do some push-ups. It doesn't have to be, some extravagant exercise apparatus. Like, I just need the capability to kind of help monitor and manage things, especially when, things are so busy and flying around. So definitely going to be going with that Whoop strap for Christmas.
I like that. I was just showing the audience. I know you two can't necessarily see me, but I have my Samsung watch was annoying me today by telling me to get up out of my chair. So you know what, Brian, I totally agree with you. And that's still, it is a technology thing, but it's still pushing you towards the other things to get out of your chair. So that's really great. All right. So what else are we thinking about? Andrew, what else do you think that the techies would want for Christmas?
Well, I think the big one right now, especially in the gaming community, and anyone who has built a computer themselves, and something that I'm personally on the lookout for, as well as a lot of my friends. I actually know one person who had this is, this brand new graphics card from NVIDIA that came out. They just released their 30 series, which is just fancy talk. It's just it's cheaper than their predecessor, the 20 series. It's cheaper. It's almost half the price, but is like 40% better in performance. And because of that, it's been almost impossible to find. I think I found it on eBay it retails for $600. I found it being resold for $1,500. It's like this insane white whale that a lot of techies, myself included, and I don't really consider myself a techie, but anyone who wants to improve their computer, which, we're on, like we said, we're on our computers for most of the time now. So it would be really nice to have something like that, but it's just so hard to find. And if you can find it for retail, you might as well have won the lottery at that point, because it's literally impossible. There's bots, all these programs that are searching the internet, and various retailers for this specific graphics card. And there's the sad thing is there's no really light at the end of the tunnel for this. It's really just, do you want to pay upwards of 4 digits for this one piece of equipment that isn't even a computer, but it's a part of a computer? Or do you just want to wait and see when the stock is going to be replenished, which no one knows? NVIDIA has been very quiet about that, at least publicly. But I think for me, that's probably, if you really want to wow someone who A, is into tech, B, has their own computer, and you just want to, give them the gift of a lifetime, really, then this would probably be it.
It's funny you say that. My son, who's not a computer techie at all, he's going into mechatronics, which kind of is, but it's more of engineering, robotics and things. He just decided to build his own computer over the holiday break after the semester, and he just started to build his, and of course he wants the 30 series card, and guess what, can't find it. So he has no graphics card right now, and he's really upset because he has this really nice machine. I helped him build it a couple nights ago, and wow, is it smoking. It's come a long way since the days I build computers, and I'm telling you, that's the frustration, is the card. He's hoping that after the new year that it starts to settle down a little bit. So Brian, how about you? What else?
Well, first off, we set up an agreement, Northern California to Southern California. If I see a 30 series card, I'm calling Andrew, and we're going to try and take care of one another. So hopefully that's one way we can make a Christmas miracle happen. For me, it's, I talked about technology, in the first gift that I'm thinking about. And, interestingly enough, different ways to decompress. I talked about, watching sports and reading, and, something that, hooked me in, and probably a lot of people watching, our stream today, is the Queen's Gambit. So, this is a show that completely hooked me in, and I was always a kid, growing up, we played checkers, we played chess a little bit, rainy days during recesses and things like that. And, thinking about it now, you start watching the show and you just see like how incredible, the gameplay is. And next thing you know, you want to start playing. Well, where do you go? Right. So actually chess.com has been like an outstanding resource for years. A lot of like awesome resources. And I started playing online, right? And they start you off with a 1200 rating, and immediately you just completely get obliterated by people who are playing online. So it kind of sets you back to around like an 800 or 600 level. And then you kind of have to make a decision, like, how do you want to go about learning and being better at this? And so chess.com does a great job of offering like these daily classes and lessons, but they do such a good job. I'm basically about to buy an annual membership, just to get as many lessons and analysis as possible, because, again, it just goes back to someone else kind of, providing some guidance for, like a missed opportunity that's right in front of my face. So geeking out again over, an app in this case, but the more that I can, go see my, my best friends and beat them at chess, which is something they never really played with me before. That's the new goal for 2021.
It's funny you said that, Brian. I know we met a few days ago, the three of us, to some show prep, and you mentioned the Queen's Gambit, and I hadn't watched it yet because it's on my list of things to watch. But my son had told me about that, and because he wants a chessboard for Christmas, and so I had to watch it. But I said, I'll start watching it before the next show. My wife and I finished it in 2.5 nights, I think, and that's only because we had things happening in between. Oh my! I am hooked. I cannot wait to see if he gets one of those boards for Christmas, because my dad used to be he was a chess champion, not like a master champion, but when he was in the service, he really got into it and he was really good, and that's probably why I don't play, because I just couldn't win against him no matter what I did. So I'm kind of excited about that too. All right, we have, believe it or not, we're about down to about 5 minutes or so. So Andrew, what else? I know you mentioned a couple of things when we were chatting on the show prep. I remember something about sneakers.
Yeah, I mean that's another big thing. I mean, it's for those watching and for those who do know me, I am a bit of a collector in terms of when it comes to sneakers. It's been a big thing. And the funny thing with this past year, 2020, is that despite all of these companies, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, and all of that, despite all of that, I mean, sneaker culture has been brought into the mainstream more so than anything else. And I think that also with the emergence of the Last Dance documentary, with Michael Jordan, there was a specific episode that talked about Michael Jordan's impact on sneaker culture and how he really spurred that. And I think that, if you have a son, if you have a nephew, if you have just a friend, or could be, anyone, any gender can appreciate, a nice pair of shoes. And it also kind of gives us a reason to get out of the house and maybe go on a run and get them a nice pair of running shoes. Something that, like I said, goes back to what I was talking about earlier about being active.
Yeah. Andrew, it's funny you say that, because I didn't know that sneakers were such a big thing, and I watched an episode on one of the streaming channels, and it was Jeff Goldblum doing, like, he picked something and he did it on sneakers. I didn't know there was a sneaker con. I was like, I couldn't believe how much people paid for sneakers. It was crazy. So yeah. All right, so Brian, Andrew talked a little bit about that gift that everyone wants but may not be able to get it. They don't really expect it because it's hard to find or really pricey. Do you have one in mind that you're thinking?
That's a good question. Something that's like really, really hard to get.
Or something like
I'd probably say a PS5. I mean, it's like it's probably the lowest hanging fruit out there. But I mean, for me, it's like decompressing in gaming, especially for people who are in tech but who don't have tech roles. I mean, it's definitely part of our weekend culture as well. So internally, at our company, I mean, we're dispersed across the world, but we're all kind of on our PlayStations playing FIFA and talking smack to one another. So we're all trying to figure out, like, okay, like, when does it make sense for us to all kind of like move to the next gen platform? Of course, availability has everything to do with it, but for me, it's if I can definitely snag one of those PS5s and not have to lie to my girlfriend and say that it's an air purifier, like I saw in an article recently, I think that would be it. That'd be a major win.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're down to the last couple minutes. Andrew, before we go, anything else you think techies would want for Christmas?
I think lastly, kind of tied to the graphics card, but I think there's been a huge upswing in high scale, high quality monitors. Right now, the age of 1080p is gone. Now the new wave is 1440p, and it's going to keep going up. And it's just, if you're looking at a screen all day, why not get a nice one that doesn't put a strain on your eyes? They have really nice ones that have a curve to it, so that it's just easier on yourself, so you don't have to constantly look around, look to your left and right and strain your neck. I have a couple of friends that recently invested in those, and it is pricey, but like I said, it is an investment because you expect to use this monitor for 2-3 years. And if you are lucky enough to get that white whale of a graphics card, this monitor, these nice new monitors that come out are perfectly suited for that. So it's it's something that's definitely a lot easier to get, a little higher price point, but it's something that is extremely useful and that everyone is using these days.
True. So Brian, anything else before we go?
I think for me, it's, I watched some golf this past weekend and saw Tiger Woods and his son, basically playing in that PNC tournament. And, that's something that completely got me excited. So something that, I'm taking a look at is kind of retooling my golf bag. And, if you think about different activities and, being able to disconnect, I think there's definitely a major uptick in terms of golf. I mean, it's a perfect social distancing sport. So kind of sounds more like a classic sales answer, but there's the best part about that sport is that it's brutally honest, and you put that with a whoop strap and you can kind of see, how fast is your heartbeat after you hit a bad shot. That's the type of feedback that I'll be waiting to unpack in 2021.
Nice. So I always wait. I love to buy things on, online and things. And so I'm trying to be patient because I always ruin it for my kids and my wife when they want to buy me something. So but what I did do, I knew something they wouldn't get me is I'm starting to dabble into these LED lights. So I've got my office all lit up so I can have that soft glow. But one of these things, I'll show my age here, guys. One of the things that I bought myself that I knew they wouldn't buy me was one of these. Now this, you guys can't see it, but what it is, it's basically a video recorder converter from VHS or videotapes to digital. So I've been playing around with that so I can kind of give some of those old family videos as a present to my wife. So that'll be pretty cool. So well, guys, we are at the end of the show, so we're going to move into the ending session here, and I want to thank you two both for taking time on Christmas Eve. I know it's earlier in the day for you guys on the West Coast, but still, you had to, working and everything. And for the viewers out there, I want everybody to remember to visit the HDI local chapter's website. The link is on the screen for more information about our organization. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to click the like button, leave us some comments to let us know how we're doing or what you'd like to see, and then subscribe so that you can see when we're going to have when new videos come out. So again, I'd like to thank everyone. Andrew, Brian, thank you for being on the show, and have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all those things.
Thanks, you too, Tom. Thanks for having us.